When you look at the housing price bubble evidence, it's unequivocally the case in Sydney. Unequivocally. The fact is, though, house prices are high, and it is, and certainly in Sydney, having I think a palpable impact on young people trying to get into the housing market.
First home buyers are stuffed. That's according to Aussie Home Loans founder John Simons. A toxic mix of soaring house prices and large deposits are pricing young Aussies out of their dream homes.
As someone who, along with the bank, owns a house in Sydney, I do hope that our housing prices are increasing.
And I think that's highly unfortunate.
Do you have any concerns around correlations with household debt, level of household debt, and rising house prices?
You know, you've always got to be careful talking about interest rates and debt.
25 basis points or 0.25%. This is good news for Australian families.
And but it does worry me that the very, very low, historically low levels of interest rates are encouraging people to perhaps over-invest in housing. And I'm not talking just about buying houses. I'm talking about investing in housing. You've just got to see the plethora of these renovation shows to realise something's amiss.
Does the Prime Minister agree with his Treasury Secretary, who said today there is unequivocally a housing bubble in Sydney and in higher priced areas of Melbourne?
As someone who, along with the bank, owns a house in Sydney, I do hope that our housing prices are increasing.
First home buyers are stuffed.
A new report from the Committee for Economic Development Australia has revealed between 1 and 1.5 million Australians are living in poverty.
It's good news for jobs. It's good news for households.
I do want housing to be affordable, but nevertheless, I also want house prices to be modestly increasing. The important thing is to ensure that our economy is as strong as possible so that people have as much resources at their disposal as possible.
At the start of 2014, in summer, we saw a spike in homelessness. It's the worst that I've seen, and we're expecting 2015 that it's going to be the same, if not worse.
Have jobs so that they can go out there and buy the things they need, including the housing that they need.
Arguments erupted in federal parliament today over the impact on families from welfare cuts in the budget.
It's cold, it's damp, it's lonely, it's depressing. I don't know how many adjectives you want to add to it as far as it's concerned, but it's not good. You lose hope very quickly as far as getting out. You don't know what it is, and you live day by day.
But nevertheless, I also want house prices to be modestly increasing.
The government had removed any modelling from the budget, so Labor commissioned its own. And despite government protests that Labor's modelling was selective, it clearly showed low-income families with children suffering the most.
It's good news for jobs. It's good news for households.
Older Australian women are becoming homeless at increasing rates. Poor superannuation savings, divorce and domestic violence are among the key issues, along with a chronic lack of affordable housing.
I do hope that our housing prices are increasing.
Advocacy groups say that the federal government's funding cuts to the homeless will only make the problem worse.
That's why the government will continue with its credible plan to get the budget back to surplus, to repair our balance sheet and to deliver the sort of safety and security Australians expect by having a government that is living within its means.
And I think that's highly unfortunate.
The government is working hard to take the pressure off interest rates by keeping inflation low.
First home buyers are stuffed. That's according to Aussie Home Loans founder John Simons. A toxic mix of soaring house prices and large deposits are pricing young Aussies out of their dream homes.
As someone who, along with the bank, owns a house in Sydney, I do hope that our housing prices are increasing.
25 basis points or 0.25%. This is good news for Australian families and it's good news for Australian business.